that we got a update finally of what's happening with our next piece of Transformers television fiction. We finally rolled out of now of what's happening with Earthrise and the Netflix series. We have a date for at least what's going to be happening with Kingdom, which is going to be in May 30th of 2021. What's going to be happening in between that? What is the next step for us with our fiction and Transformers? And it's that with the Transformers Cyberverse TV specials, or TV movies as they're called, that will be rolling out, no pun intended. Now, we learned about this kind of by accident from issue.com, ISSUU.com, issue, that's the way they spell it, and through their festival of licensing, and this was back in, I want to say, October of 2020, we learned this, and it was a little blurb that pretty much said, hey, there's going to be 2 TV movies, they're going to be 44 minutes each, obviously with commercials and stuff, so pretty much an hour of slot time on television. And all it had was, with the synopsis, it said, Bumblebee, with the help of Stowaway, Dinobots, Sludge, Snarl, Swoop, and Slug, and the Autobots set up the plan to take down Megatron X. And all we took away from that was, oh, that means that the character Megatron X will be returning. For people who don't know who that is, I don't want to spoil too much. Kind of a character that falls into the tail end of Season 3 of the Cyberverse TV series. Black Megatron repaint, let's just say that for now. And the Dinobots, which have not appeared up to this point in the Cyberverse series, obviously outside of Grimlock himself. So that was all we really knew about that, and that was literally it for all of these months. Now some new information has cropped up, again, because of Issue Magazine and their website, and they have this blurb to say. So again, they still reconfirm it's 2 44-minute TV specials or TV movies. These 2 epic specials available. First one called The Immobilizer, very interesting name, in which the entire planet of Cybertron becomes frozen in time. Interesting, that one. And the second one here, The Perfect Decepticon, following as a peace treaty between the Autobots and Decepticon is put to the test. Now, the Perfect Decepticon, that could fall into Megatron X and his Perfect Decepticons, the Tarn units, if we could call them that. But we don't know. Judging by what was said from the previous press release back in October of last year, mixed with what we know right now from this one, again, Megatron X, probably throw in the Dinobots there. And of course, when you add in too what we had from the recent Cyberverse toy spoilers, I guess we'll call that but we'll also call that. We know that we probably are going to have Volcanicus. We're going to have, obviously, the Dinobots there because we have a Sludge, we have a Slug figure. So that mixes in there, too. And the Dino Prime, who knows where that fits in also. So a lot of interesting stuff mentioned here, but at least shows that something is coming and something is coming soon. They don't mention it here in the press release, but different people have been saying that it'll probably appear on the official Hasbro Cyberverse YouTube channel. I have no confirmation of that, but that will be very interesting if Hasbro decides to go that route to debut it along with television too. That would, I guess there's money to be made by from an ad revenue standpoint to have it debut on YouTube. But very interesting choice. Kind of hope it shows up on Netflix and other places. That way I could kind of watch it at my leisure too, as opposed to having to catch it on air at a very specific time on television. I'm not a big TV person. But that being said, yeah, this is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Again, we don't have a date. We have no date yet, but I'm going to assume it's probably going to be happening in the near future, hopefully before Kingdom, just so we have something between now, as of this recording, we're in late January, between now and May when, of course, the Kingdom TV series comes out on Netflix. So we shall see what happens. If we get a date, we'll talk about it here on the podcast, but this is all very exciting stuff to hear. I felt that Cyberverse really, I felt that Hasbro didn't get really too behind it, both from a product standpoint and from a just hyping it up and just fictional standpoint. There was no comic book tie-in with IDW to kind of flesh out the fiction in 22 pages. That would be kind of fun to have that as a supplemental product. Some of the characters could have been fleshed out through a comic form, but they, IDW didn't decide to go with that, or neither Hasbro. the episodes I found were too short to kind of tell a story. There was a story there, but between the buildup of a story and the end of a story, there just wasn't enough meat in the middle. And because it's 10 minutes, you can't spend a lot of time on character development and fleshing out background characters and stuff like that. It had its moments. It was really fun. Don't get me wrong, but I wish there was more. And this at least will give us more. And by being, 2 TV specials, 44 minutes apiece, that's exciting. Some people have even rumored that maybe it's a possibility that these were originally the same kind of format. They were instead of these being 2 TV specials, that these were actually just like 8 episodes of Cyberverse content that they were probably edited into TV specials. And it wouldn't be the first time that's been done in Transformers history. I mean, I could look back as far as, Return of Optimus Prime, Part 1 and 2 from Season 3 G1 back in 1987, 1986, being edited into a 1-hour TV special. They did that. Not a lot of content. I think there was like one scene that was cut out from the TV version of it, where they made it a little TV movie. And then you fast forward to the likes of Transformers Armada, where they merged the first 3 episodes into a TV special on Cartoon Network for its debut. And then every airing afterwards had been the individual episodes with those, 1 minute, 2 minutes of content that was cut out. And then even Transformers Animated. Again, they kind of had their debuts as TV specials or TV movies when they really were individual episodes. But then, of course, every airing afterwards was done as individuals. So we're going to see, was this actually constructed as 2 individual 44-minute segments with a flow of 2 44-minute segments, or are these actually the 10-minute segment episodes that are just being mashed together? And we're going to be watching, and every 10 minutes it's going to be pretty clear that there's, I guess we'll call it a narrative reset that is going to happen every 10 minutes. And that was something that kind of sucked, is if you were watching Cyberverse back-to-back all the episodes, every 10 minutes the narrative kind of had to reset to get you up to speed at what's going on. Kind of like how you have a commercial break and there's some kind of cliffhanger before a commercial break, and when it comes back from commercial break, they just get you up to speed on what that cliffhanger was, even though it's only like 2 seconds. Well, as opposed to if it's an episode break where it's the end of an episode, the beginning of an episode, it's usually more than 2 seconds of a reminder. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I've talked enough about this. This is great stuff. I'm excited. I just want to see what it is. Hey, Dinobots, Megatron X, that's what we know thus far. Possibly Combiner Dinobots, possibly a dinosaur Optimus Prime. It's more Cyberverse content. It's more fiction. It's more excitement. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you think, guys.